What's for you the beef of drupa?
In many ways, I think this is one of the most important ones because it's really a great place to find out what's the future. And I think this is perhaps, for many people, the key place to come to. So that's probably a nice answer for you, but it's one I believe in. Otherwise, what impresses me most is a couple of things that show where the future's going. One of which is the HP Web inkjet press, and the other one is the Kodak Stream concept press. Both are going to be challenging the way we print in the future because they're going to change the whole economics of printing and really challenge into the offset space, which digital hasn't done really up to now.
Did you have a chance to look at the Drupa Innovation Park?
I'm dedicating a whole day to go and look at it, and up to now I've just been so rushing around that this is something I've got to look at. I'd love to have done this on day one, because there's so much here to show the future. But unfortunately, if you're in the press and if you're in the consultancy community, you don't get any time to look at anything in the first week at Drupa.
Yeah, ASP is becoming more and more important. Do you see this trend at the big booths as well?
You do. ASP is a major situation. You don't see it so much in the big offset guys, but if you look at digital.
So I think it's time that John has to join us a little bit. John Parsons is one of the masterminds of Seaboard Report, or not to say the mastermind of Seaboard Report. John, what's for you the beef of Drupa? Tell me, please.
I think most of what's happening in Drupa Innovation Park is a cross-section of some of the things that are going to be effective in the next 5 to 10 years. Some of the technologies you see here today are going to be much more common. In fact, some of them already are common. If you go through the hall, you'll see web to print everything. And in a lot of the bigger halls, you'll see web to print everything. But in the Innovation Park, we've seen some web to print that is the next generation. It's not just putting your ordering system online or a template system online. A couple of interesting vendors came up with a web to print in a box. Yes. That is for the smaller printer that cannot afford the development costs. So it's becoming mainstream. It's not just putting ordering systems online. It's becoming more exciting from a sales point. Can you sell a service as a printed piece?
They all telling us inkjet, that's the future. So what about the toner-based system? Are they dead right now?
No, not at all.
It's interesting that if you actually want to get the highest quality digital, you don't go inkjet. The highest quality digital is toner-based, whether it's liquid toner or dry toner. You look at the HP Indigo, you look at the IGN 4, they're much higher quality than anything you're going to get in inkjet. And we also have another little spanner that's being thrown into the works, and it's called recycling of paper. Mm-hmm. And there's some interesting reports being published at the moment that inkjet is a dead end for the environment.
Yes.
In terms of recycling of paper. There is a serious potential problem that we have to look at about the recycling of inkjet. You don't have that problem on dry toner-based systems.
But there's one thing I saw here at the show the first time. It was here at Drupa 2004 a little bit, but now the issue of hybrid printing is coming more and more, so that you use offset and the digital printing machines. You have any examples here on the show floor?
Yeah, there are. You're seeing it in the label market to a degree, and you're also seeing one hybrid press here that's very interesting, which is on the Kodak stand, where you're getting a Muller-Martini offset press with new Kodak Stream print heads putting on variable data onto that. So this is a real capability for the future.
Do you think, John, that really the variable data thing, the variable data printing is a major goal for future?
I think it has potential, but you have to realize that, first of all, there's privacy issues with the data. And so a lot of print companies or marketing companies are faced with the legality and the ethical issues of using personal data.
For me, it would be interesting, I think, for the audience too. So what do you think about Drupa? What's the major 3 things?
I think you have to look at workflow software, because the way it's going to change the way people buy print, process print, and everything is electronic on that sort of structure, and there's all sorts of vendors doing that. It's the new generation of, or the next generation of high-speed inkjet that will challenge offset in the space of, say, 10,000 impressions instead of 2,000 impressions. The third, that's difficult to say. I found it difficult on this show really to say what is a highlight. Lots of people have said to me, what is the key product there? And I really have difficulty on saying which it is. I would say probably the third thing is look at the future. And the future is the sort of thing here. And I find this exciting, and you're seeing really innovative stuff that is going to change the way we work. And maybe there's the next Bill Gates or the next Steve Jobs somewhere in there. If it is, please tell me who it is, and I want to invest in him. But thanks. John?
I would say also, I would repeat what Andy said about the Innovation Park. One of the members that I was interviewing here said that this was the best trade show. This meaning the Innovation Park Hall was the best trade show he'd seen in 10 years. The other thing I'd like to do, instead of answering that question, is ask Andy a question. Steve Ballmer, yesterday or today, made an outrageous statement that in 10 years there will not be a newspaper printed on paper anymore in the world. He said maybe 8 years, maybe 12 years. What's your response to that statement?
For those who've heard me doing presentations, you know I think Microsoft make the world's worst software. They have never managed to make Windows work properly. They've been projecting the death of print for about 20 years. It's normally Bill Gates does it, but Bill Gates has now given up and Steve Ballmer is now the mouth of Microsoft. I think we will have printing of newspapers for a long time. We've had e-books for a long time. Have you seen anybody here with an e-book, looking at stuff? That's not happened this time. Nobody wants it.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here in the Drupa Innovation Park. I hope you have a cool day at Drupa Innovation Park, and that you both enjoy the rest of the show. We have 4 more days to go, and so far I thank you very much, Mr. Andy Tribute, John Parsons.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.